Age Minds. Micah Frankel is a successful night of pugilism at the Absolute Showdown #2, thanks to Absolute Fitness and OTs. Now, while I'm here, I got to meet BKFC superstar Harrison Aiken, who has become a crucial sparring partner for many of the parties involved in the upcoming BKFC 75, including the main event. And that's what brings you out here to Albuquerque. So is it normal in the bare knuckle kind of realm for the camaraderie of a fight to lead to becoming friends, sparring partners?
100%. Yeah, a lot of my previous opponents are now very close friends of mine. We talk a lot. We support each other. You know, a lot of the guys that, you know, I considered to be my opponents are now some of my closest friends. So, you know, I came out here to get my boy ready.
A bare knuckle vet. When we say that, you're through and through, been doing this since very early, the Toe the Line series. What was it about bare knuckle that had you commit to this genre of combat sport?
It's raw. There's nothing like it. You're a modern day gladiator. You're putting it all on the line for the entertainment of others. I mean, the fact that you're going out there with no gloves shows what kind of person you are. You gotta be mentally prepared to basically the worst case scenario, die or go to a hospital. And you know, that's what I tell my wife before I go out there. I'm like, I'm prepared to go to a hospital every night.
Were you surprised that when you go to tryouts that leap of faith leads to something that's been several years now of a career?
Yeah, honestly, because I went out there against 50 pros. Like I told you before, I was one of the only amateurs to go out there at that time, and it was so new. The fact that they picked me out of 5 out of 50, I was one of the 5, shows, you know, how hard that I really wanted it. And, you know, I'm a showman at the end of the day. I come to fight, and this is my life now. So I put it all on the line every single time I step into that ring, and BKFC knows it.
Have you reflected on and possibly been able to come up with an answer what you think they saw in you at that tryout? Because I'm guessing that you've had to say to yourself, there were so many guys. What was it about me?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it was, you know, that was a hard time of my life too, because like I wasn't who I am today. I've gone through a lot of changes to make me who the person I am today, and I'm a much better person and fighter because of those changes. But they saw something in me that I really didn't see in myself at the beginning, and now I really hit my stride, you know, 7 fights in. I consider myself to be one of the elite fighters in the division, and you know, to come out here and get somebody ready for a world title fight, you know, you got to have that respect of, you know, this dude is going to bring it, and that's why I'm here.
You have a special connection to that main event at BKFC 75 because I've heard you've shared the sparring room with both Dave Mundell and Donald Sanchez. So just what kind of feelings does that give you about what we could possibly see in June?
Bro, they both are really, we're warriors. They have no quit in them. You know, Dave, I got to know for a short amount of time when I was at Clearwater for the BKFC fights, and then you know, he's the #1 pound for pound for a reason. He's very technical. He hits hard. Donald has been on a rampage. Obviously, you saw our last fight. I mean, I had to really show some heart to just make it to that 5th round with him. So Donald's on a tear, and he's not going to stop until he gets that belt. You know, if I could pick one side, I came out here to Albuquerque for a reason. So, you know, that's where I'm rooting for Donald. I respect Mundell, but I came out here to help my boy walk away with a title.
7 fights in bare knuckle. You've had a bunch of different looks. What was it about Donald Sanchez? What made him a particularly tough opponent?
Honestly, his tenacity, man. He has like the grit, and even I hit him hard in the 5th round. That elevation, Albuquerque elevation, caught up to me. But you know, I see a lot of the guys that I've fought would have taken that easy way out, and he couldn't see. He couldn't see the 5th round, and he told me, you know, after becoming close and stuff, he was like, man, that hurt. And I really had to dig deep to make it to the end of that fight. And that just, with him telling me that, like, shows me the heart that he has, and that he's going to do whatever it takes to win.
The night didn't turn out how you wanted it last time out here with Donald. What were you able to take away from that fight? What are you able to build on from it?
Honestly, I was super proud of myself just for making it the distance with him. A lot of people were sleeping on me. People were betting that I would lose in the first round. So I've heard a few people lost some money, which I don't really care about that. But, I was able to show them my heart. The BKFC told me, I couldn't have done any better going into someone's hometown. I got fans out here now. I was flown out here. Like, they've shown love to me. And, I feel like we sort of built a connection where I can come here anytime that I want. I can come up here, get some elevation training, get myself ready for some camps and stuff. And, this is like my second home now. So I love Albuquerque. I hope I can come back again soon and fight here. But real recognizes real, and they saw what I put out that night, and I felt like I've never been more booed in my entire life. It was loud, and at the end of the night, I had kids coming up to me to sign autographs. So if that doesn't say something, I think that speaks for itself.
What is about this sport, this journey, that keeps you going with it?
Honestly, it gave me a chance to change my life. I was an addict, so it gave me a opportunity to grow and to strive to be the best person that I could be. Like, day in and day out, you have to dig deep if you really want to make it to the top. So I've stayed consistent, and my consistency is shown in my fights.
And just from talking to you a little bit, it sounds like that's the biggest accomplishment. The change, where you've come in the last couple of years, would be the biggest accomplishment that you're most proud of?
Yes, 100%. I mean, I changed my life. I've become a better father, better husband, and it correlates over to how I train, how I do my day-to-day business, and that change made me a different person for the better.
Harrison Aiken, biggest question, when can we see you back in the ring?
I don't know. BKFC sent me a contract. I'm ready to knock some people out.
And we'll get another interview with him when he does. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, buddy.